In this video, I'm going to break down the 4 steps that I have taken to radically change my life from going from being purposeless, broke, overweight, unhappy, sad, lonely, didn't have my community, sick, all of the bad things, to living a life that feels more aligned than ever, feeling successful, recognized, having a thriving business, a beautiful community, and so much love around me. Let's get into it. If you're new here, my name is Micah Gabriela. Welcome to the Human Design Portal, your safe space to decondition so that you can align with the right people, opportunities, and places. I have supported thousands of people to move out of a rut, feeling stuck in a rock bottom, not knowing what their direction is, to actually living a life full of purpose, joyful, and with abundance. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the 4 steps that I follow to help my clients get to their desired result, connecting to their highest self, and opening up a whole new life experience. I can't wait to share this with you. A lot of people will tell you that the only way to find enlightenment is if they buy your course. This is not this video. I'm going to share the 4 steps that I have used to uplevel my life, that I use to uplevel my client's life. And the first step is going to be living life. This is so essential, and you're going to be there sitting like, wow, Mike is again like going insane. But this is so essential, especially in the spiritual world. Why? Because everybody's telling you to fucking heal. I am not here to tell you to heal. I am telling you to throw yourself at life and see what comes up, because the biggest workshop, the biggest, most important course is going to be living your life. When we get obsessed with healing, when we get obsessed with this idea of like, I can't do what I want to do, I can't find the love of my life, I can't find my purpose because I first need to heal, you are ruining your chances of moving forward, and you're increasing your chances of going in a loop spiral downwards. The biggest thing that I've seen between the clients that have had success and the clients who have not had success is that the clients that have had success have walked into the storm, have faced their fears, and did it anyways. And those that were not able to see success have just like taken them away from life, healing, totally disconnected from people, disconnected from social engagement, disconnected from anything that could trigger them. When triggers, ladies and gentlemen, are the biggest gifts that you can find in your life to uplevel and step into your fullest potential. The first step is living life. It is throwing yourself into uncomfortable situations, moving out of your comfort zone, and doing things that don't necessarily feel always super great, or actually doing more of the things that you love, finding the community, throwing yourself into circumstances that feel exciting, that feel adventurous, that tap into your joy, your desire, your creativity, okay? But we need you to live life, because nobody is a better teacher to what you need to expand and elevate your life than life itself. First of all, this is what we're doing. We're living life. We are no longer healing. You can live life and heal. Unless you have an actual broken bone, get into life. Rip off that Band-Aid and throw yourself into the highs and lows of this human experience. Step 2, become self-aware and start taking responsibility for the triggers, the pain, the obstacle, and the hurdles that are presenting themselves. These are not things to run away from. These are not signs that you're not doing what is correct. This is actually an opportunity divinely created for you since the beginning of time, for you to elevate, for you to exercise your free will, for you to decide the version of you want to be. Every time we get triggered, every time there's an obstacle, we get to either bring our shadow out, we get to either act from our subconscious, from our pain, from our inner child that is hurting, or we get to pause, assess the situation, step in as the person we actually want to be, and embody that version of ourselves. The more we embody that version of ourselves that we aspire to be in moments that are difficult, that we're fearful, that we get triggered, that we're pissed the F off, that we feel that there's injustice happening, that is when you are changing your destiny. That is when you are up-leveling your life. That is when you're shining your light, and no matter what is being thrown at you, you know that you have come to bring light into this world, that you have the capacity, that you are powerful, that you can reframe, and that everybody's circumstance and situation is merely there to help you reflect on the parts of yourself that need healing and are an opportunity for you to up-level and create new destinies. The third step, how are you reacting to what is coming up? How are you getting to know those sides of yourselves that are hurting? Are you approaching your mistakes, your flaws with rejection, with hate, with abandonment of your own needs? Or are you being loving to those parts of yourself? Are you asking with curiosity, why are they coming up? Why are they here to teach you? Because the main lesson of tip number 3 is everything that is happening in your life, everything that is hurting, is an opportunity for you to understand where you're lacking and where you need to heal. This is where you start doubling down. If you're noticing that you're lacking financial abundance, if you're noticing that you're in fear for economic resources, that your job is not sustainable, that you don't have that monetary support, and you're constantly in that fight or flight of survival, then that is your main focus of attention right now. Life will bring us to our knees. Life will bring us into rock bottom so that we look at what is hurting. And I heard this incredible analogy the other day that I loved by my Kabbalistic mentor, David Guillaume. And he was saying that God, the universe, and these lessons, they're kind of like going to the dentist. And so when you go to the dentist, you don't go to the dentist so that the dentist looks at all the healthy teeth. No. You go to the dentist so that he pokes into all of your tooth, and when he finds a cavity, he hits really hard and he's like, this is a cavity, this is a potential danger, this is what we have to look into, this is what we got to scratch out. That is what's happening with the lessons that we learn in the world and how the universe operates, so that it pulls out our cavities, so that it pulls out our darkness, so that it pulls out what is not healthy, and we don't have any other choice than looking at it. Because only when it's painful and only when we gain the awareness to look at it is when we actually have the potential to work on it, heal, and change. And that is actual healing, confronting the shit, not hiding from life and hoping that when we're just like meditating our life away, we will finally get healed. And number 4, ladies and gentlemen, and this is my favorite step of all, probably because I'm a 3/5 in my profile in human design, action is the universal law of success. There is no meditating, there is no subconscious reprogramming, there is no regulating of your nervous system, there is no nothing if you can't put it into practice in your real life. If you have a regulated nervous system when you are just like on the weekend, like a couch potato, lying on your sofa, congratulations. But do you have a regulated nervous system when you're leading a team of 50 people and you have a huge amount of pressure and there's a launch date or whatever. This is me because I have a business. Do you have a regulated nervous system when your 5-year-old is having a tantrum? Do you have a regulated nervous system when something that is triggering you is actually coming to life? This is where you start realizing where you are in your journey. It is so easy, and I've done this a million times, like me, myself first. I always will share from my own experience. I'm a flawed human being and I'm constantly working on myself. So don't you think that I've got it all figured out, because I'm just doing baby steps. So, right? I was thinking, I am so healed. Oh, my triggers are, I was single. Oh my God, yeah, like now I'm ready for the perfect relationship. Nothing will trigger me. Whatever. Bullshit. It's the same, right? Like, I am a mother, so there is a trigger constantly every day of my life because that's what children are meant to do. Children are meant to trigger us. But when we're not in contact with other people, when we're just living isolated in our little, social media world, or we're like disconnecting from the world in a silent retreat, or we're like on top of a mountain and desocializing, all things that are pulling us away from the opportunity to get triggered is actually the least spiritual thing we can do. Yes, I said it. That's what I believe in. I believe in if you are not put in a position where you have to take action, you're actually avoiding your spiritual growth. So, triggers and pain and all the other shit that happens in your life are an opportunity for you to actually demonstrate if what you've learned is working, if what you've implemented is working, if your shadow aspects, your limiting beliefs, your patterns are actually changed and have shifted, or if you're still operating from the same narrative that you were from the first time that happened to you, that made you question and made you ask, right? Step one. So this is really important to get into, because you will notice that there's patterns in your life that will repeat themselves, right? And if you've had something in your life that was extremely painful, you got to rock bottom, you learned the lesson, you integrated change by working on your subconscious, on the beliefs that you have created from 0 to 6. And then you will be presented with what a lot of people like to call a test. The reason I don't like to call it a test is because a test sounds like you can fail it or you can pass it. And I don't think that that's how it works. I don't think that you fail anything. I feel you will walk into the fire as many times necessary until you've learned your lesson, and then it literally disappears from your life. Like, you will not attract the same people, the same circumstance, the same dynamics in your life anymore. That is the number one sign that you have healed and you have moved on and you have elevated your life. Number one sign is those dynamics, relationships, people do just no longer appear in your orbit. So what happens is that when you start changing your subconscious, when you're working on bettering yourself, when you're moving through that experience of rock bottom, looking at what's happening, actively working on changing your subconscious beliefs and like reprogramming your mind and your patterns, you will get presented with what I'm gonna call a quote unquote test. Okay, I'm gonna put it in quotes. Please, YouTube edit team, put it big in quotes. It's a quote unquote test. You can't fail it. You will just need to learn the lesson better next time. So you will get presented with the opportunity to demonstrate to yourself and the universe that you have learned your lesson and you're not going to repeat the pattern that feels familiar and safe to you. Because now you know that you're ready for a new experience. You have transcended that old pattern that no longer serves you, and you're opening up your capacity to align with the things your soul actually desires and up leveling to life and connecting to your highest self. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments. If there's questions that you need to dig deeper into, let me know. I love growing this community, reading every single of your comment. You know who you are. I love seeing your faces again and again. So if you've liked this video, please like it, share it, subscribe to the channel. Growing this community means the world to me. And remember, I don't care what anybody says, I love you.